outcomes-based education, and continuous improvement of the curriculum is being practiced to meet the challenges of the 21st century. As testament of excellence, CAFS is constantly recognized by different organizations. In research-based education, we continue to implement relevant studies curriculum with focus on the 12 priority commodities to address food security. Moreover, technologies are constantly developed to aid in responsible food production. Supplementary activities to disseminate the knowledge generated focus on improve food productivity and livelihood of food security. Moreover, we believe that present technologies will future-proof our food systems. Some of our notable developments are ID-Tech, Coraginam, Plant Health and Pest Clinic, Pest Management Tools and Techniques, Smarter Pest Identification Technology or SpeedTech, Snap Hydroponics, Drone Technology, Rapid Immunofilter Assay for Virus Indexing, Nanofertilizers Fertigrow, Hormogrow, Nanobiosensors, Biochar, we at the College of Agriculture and Food Science will continue to promote and nurture a culture with innovative yet conscientious minds and cutting-edge skills to lead and serve the country and the region. We are one college with one goal towards sustainable food systems.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the fourth episode of the CAFS Coffee Webinar Series, brought to you, of course, by the College of Agriculture and Food Science at the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. So we welcome everyone who are here in our Zoom space and those who are watching via CAFS Facebook page and the YouTube channel. In this fourth episode, everybody, we would like to feature the R4D initiatives in coffee and future prospects of it. So, in this episode, we are co hosted by the Institute of Animal Science and the Dairy Training and Research Institute. My name is Kamla Zaira G. Lavadia from the IAS CAFS UPLB, and I will be your host this morning. So today I am also joined by Ms. Maria Angelica T. Maghirang, a University Research Associate from the Dairy Training and Research Institute, to moderate our open forum. So before we begin, please be reminded, yeah, there you go. Please be reminded of our house rules. So first of all, please always keep your microphones on mute so that it will not intervene with the talk of our resource person. Also, for those who are joining via Zoom, participants may type their questions using the Q&A tab, and later on, Miss Angelica will read them one by one. For our online viewers, don't forget to type your questions using the comment section of our Facebook page and the YouTube channel. And lastly, for the evaluation, kindly accomplish our e-evaluation to get your e-certificates. So there you go. So now to formally welcome everybody in today's episode, I would like to welcome on our Zoom space a professor and director at the Institute of Animal Science, CAFS UPLB. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Rommel C. Solabo for the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Kamla. At isang maligaya at masiglang araw po sa ating lahat. Sa ngalan po ng College of Agriculture and Food Science, nais ko po kayong i-welcome sa ika-4 na yugto ng Coffee Webinar Series na tungkol at ang ating topic ngayon ay tungkol sa R4D initiatives in the coffee industry and the future of this industry. Na R4D initiatives in coffee and future prospects na ibibigay ng ating adjunct professor from the Institute of Crop Science, walang iba kundi si Dr. Calixto M. Protasio. Marahil tulad po ninyo, kayo rin po ay mahilig sa kape. Ako po, kilala po dito sa opisina na ang araw at gabi ay laging sinisimulan ng kape. And I think that is a story that is essentially the same for many Filipinos. And in fact, I read a recent survey na 90% of the Filipinos, or 90% of Filipinos have coffee in their kitchen. Siguro mas common pa ang kape kaysa siguro sa bigas na nasa kapagkainan, nasa ating kitchen. At 90% of Filipinos consume coffee regularly. And that speaks of the prospects of this industry. And I think hindi na siguro ligid sa ating kaalaman na kahit saan tayo pumunta, marami tayo makikitang cafes. Sabi nga nila, tayo ay nasa tayo ay may coffee or cafe culture na rin, tulad ng ibang katabing bayan. Pero ang pag-inom ng kape ay hindi na bago sa atin. Ito ay nasa ating kultura, ito ay nasa ating pang-araw-araw na nakasanayan sa ating pamumuhay bilang Pilipino. At natuto rin tayo maging discriminating in terms of our taste of different types of coffee. Naghahanap tayo ng mga specialty coffee varieties. And tayo ay kino-consider na heavy coffee drinkers na rin, if compared to the rest of the world. And I think that tells us why this industry is very important. Marami ang nag-engage sa industriya na to, pero tulad ng karamihan na commodities within the agricultural sector, ito ay beset with a lot of challenges. Ang demand para sa kape ay mas malaki kaysa sa production natin ng kape. And majority pa rin ng ating mga nagtatanim ng kape ay mga smallhold farmers or smallhold producers. So it's really important for us as an industry and as a sector to look at opportunities on how we can make our farmers, our stakeholders be more competitive for the future of this industry, at para ma-ensure natin that coffee will always be here in the Philippines. So muli, maraming salamat po, at naway ngayong araw na to ay marami po tayong mapulot na karunungan sa ating speaker. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat pong muli, Doc Romel Solabo, ang aming director sa Institute of Animal Science. So, ika nga, coffee is life. So, thank you for that backgrounder, Doc Romel. So, at this point, I am inviting everyone in the panel to please turn on your cameras and flash your biggest smile. Okay, so we will have a quick photo session po. So, Sir Joey, kindly take the screenshot po to document this event. Okay, so let's just wait habang hindi pa po nag-turn on ng camera ang ating mga panelists. Ayan po. So good morning pong muli sa lahat ng mga naka-join sa ating webinar this morning. Okay, so ready na po tayo. Look at the screen and smile in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that's it. Maraming salamat po. So to proceed to the highlight of this morning's program, I am delighted to introduce our resource person this morning. So our resource person is a horticulturist and a prolific scholar born in Ginobatan, Albay. He has completed 15 research projects involving the study of coconuts, cacao, coffee, mangoes, ornamental plants, citrus, and dairies, the result of which has been presented in 50 papers and national and international conferences. He has 42 publications, including a book on fruit and plantation crops in the Philippines, 23 papers in refereed journals, 5 book chapters, and other scholarly works. He held various positions such as the executive director of the Philippine Rice Research Institute, professor and director of the Institute of Plant Breeding and Crop Science Cluster in UPLB, the editor-in-chief at the Philippine Agricultural Scientist, and graduate research assistant at the Pennsylvania State University and Louisiana State University, USA. Currently, our resource person is an adjunct professor at the Institute of Crop Science, CAFS UPLB, and he will talk today about R4D initiatives in coffee and future prospects. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Calixto M. Protasio, or so fondly called as Sir Chito. Sir Chito, magandang umaga po.
Good morning. Magandang umaga, Kamla, and thank you for that introduction. Let me just correct, I was born in Los Baños, but grew up in Ginubatan, Albay. No?
Okay.
Up
so
to
yun
high
po.
school. Because my mother is actually from Los Baños. Okay, so at that time, natakot pa siya sa state of medical facilities in Bicol, kaya opted to go home muna dito sa Gonzales Clinic. So born but raised in
Ginubatan, Albay.
Ginubatan. Okay.
Thank you for that, sir.
So magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Nagkape na ba kayo? Siguro naman medyo late na. Well, it's 9 o'clock. But yung isa ko nga kakilala, tuloy-tuloy ang kanyang kape, no? At noong ako'y nag-graduate study sa US, talagang tuloy-tuloy ang kanilang kape dahil malamig. Pero medyo malabnaw kasi nga they need to drink a lot. They want to drink a lot, and then but ma-overload naman ng caffeine, and also sugar. Kaya usually walang sugar. They drink it without sugar. Okay, so for this morning, I would like to discuss basically what I have been doing for the past few years, no? With my team, students, and research assistants. No? So that's what I'll try to do today. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, so as said, it will be the research for development. Ayun. Kaya ito pong ginagawa natin ay for development. So hindi lang gaya ng sinabi ni Senator Villar, kayo naman research lang ng research. Pero tayo, may pupuntahan ang ating research. Kasi we want the development of the coffee industry. Further development. Actually, maganda na rin ang mga developments sa coffee industry. But just a brief background, kaya na rin ang sinabi ni Dr. Sulabo, it's very much in our lifestyle na rin ngayon. But actually, in the 1980s, when I started, the coffee industry was doing much better, no? And private sector led, walang pakialam ang gobyerno. And we were exporting coffee, no? And at that time, meron tayong PCA, Philippine Coconut Authority, merong Fiber Industry Development Authority, FIDA for Abaca, no? Pero for coffee, wala tayong mga ganon. Walang government agencies. Sa CAFS naman, wala rin kaming research noon except for germplasm collection and characterization. This was funded noon by Picard. Simple pa lang ang Picard noon. It is, ano lang siya, isang A at isang R. And then, in the late 1990s, Dr. Johnny Sanggalang, who was our professor then, and in his professorial lecture, he predicted that the Philippines will become a net coffee importer by the year 2000. And that prediction really came true. And today we are importing Robusta coffee from Vietnam and yung mga instant coffee from Indonesia, yung kopi ko, di ba? So, and so the recent R4D initiatives are actually probably due to the project Saray, no? And I think this has been discussed before by in Picard, no? And it was so now I'll talk more about my particular project in this project Saray, which is about 1.3 Saray project 1.3, which is about phenology studies, crop management, and model development for coffee and cacao. I'll be, of course, focusing ngayon on coffee, although we have a lot of other initiatives for cacao. No? So I'll discuss yung cafe, which is a app, and then yung naging training on coffee processing and grading, because this is very important, actually, yung coffee processing, because we have not been doing this, at least at the farmer level, grower level, especially yung grading. Wala tayong ginawang grading. Hindi sila a lot aware of the Philippine national standards, which I'll show later. And then I'll tell you about some of the things we did on integrated crop management, but this was actually interrupted by the pandemic. So wala masyado. But we were able to accomplish something here on the use of the biofertilizers with our graduate students and later RAs. And then I'll discuss also yung as an output of this project Saray, no? The Picard has this PALMS, asynchronous training. Kaya para mapakinabangan ng marami pang nasa field, mga students and trainers, no? So, introduce ko yan mamaya. And then I'll talk about the expansion of coffee planting to marginal lands. So, kasi this is actually part of the coffee roadmap to expand coffee planting to other areas. But we don't have much areas anymore. Nagsishrink ng ating arable land because of developments built up ng areas. And then we'll talk about also yung development in Excelsa, which is also very urgent. And its propagation, because the propagation, parang this seems to be very old hat, no? Parang ano pa ba ang gagawin natin dyan? But actually, there's a lot to be done here in Excelsa, and in Liberica varieties. It's very well established in Robusta, but not in these two varieties. And then finally, about some industry grabs and anong naging entrepreneurship initiatives na pwede nating pulutan ng aral. Okay? Okay, so let's start with the cafe, which is actually an application, coffee application harvest date estimator. So, kita nyo, it's a mobile app, no? And kaya ito ay inumpisahan noon ni Prof. Bong Salazar, no? Sa ano pa lang, sa phase 1 ng Project Saray. Because the coffee project had 2 phases of 3 years, mga 2014, Tapos later, after a brief lull, na-start yung phase 2. No? And itong ginawa ni Prof. Bong ay na-publish yung phenology, na-publish sa Philippine Journal of Crop Science. Ito kita nyo, cover pic pa siya. And what was done here ay yung mga datos na galing sa phase 1 ng Project Saray ay ito ay isinama sa ng DOSTP card na of course sila ang funder, and then kasama namin ang Institute of Computer Science na nagsanib sa pag-develop ng mobile app na ito. Ito ang kumaga ang team noon, umpisa pa lang nung phase 1 si Prof. Bong Salazar, si Prof. Connie Can, ayun si Bong, and this is Aldrin Howe who did some changes later in the program, and mga RRAs and student. So ito, kita nyo ang mga phenological stages as published by senior author of Bong. So paano ito ginawa ay kinuha yung mga climatic data gaya ng rainfall, temperature, at iba pa, at ito ay kinuha sa automatic weather station team ni Prof. Altuberos ng Project Saray. No? Tapos ito ay sinama sa phenological data. Ito nga, mga from flower to berry development. At ginawa ng program ni na Prof. Conica ng team niya sa computer science. So maganda itong initiatives ng research ngayon, naging multidisciplinary. No? Kasi hindi ito mangyayari kung hindi naging interdisciplinary ang approach ng Saray. Okay, so let me play this video. Okay. So, yun ang brief video na ginawa yun si Joy Lagrimas, and kabangbang na ngayon. And siya ay kasama sa Saray project mula noong first phase hanggang sa second phase. Kaya siya ang may talagang experience. Anyway, we tested this cafe, and medyo mayroon pang mga pagkukulang siya. Kaya ang isang iniba namin ay ginawa, instead of days, ginawang weeks, no? And so primarily pinaayos namin ito kay Prof. Aldrin Howe, no? So ito, meron na siyang ano. And maganda naman yung pagka-test ngayon, mukhang medyo accurate na. But kailangan pa rin ng more testing. And so titingnan mo nga kung ano yung stage at kukunan mo yan ng picture para titingnan, para masabi kung kailan i-harvest yung kape. So, tsaka kasi pati yung berry ripening, ang tagal niyang period na to eh. So, medyo dyan nagkakaroon ng ibang ng variabilities. No? Okay. So, but saan ba, paano ba gagamitin yung cafe na yon, no? Actually, it is more concerning yung program na ating Peak Red, no? Kasi kailangan maganda ang pagka-harvest mo ng bagong i-process. There should be soft ripe siya, soft ripe. So, kaya yung alamid coffee na kinakain ng alamid or ng musang, yun ay siyempre pinipili niya yung malambot, soft and juicy. Yun ang soft ripe. Kaya yun ang dapat na pipiliin natin. So cafe can help with that, no? Especially kung nasa mga malayo ang inyong kapihan, hindi kayo nakakabalik. Gaya ng mga nasa Cordillera, parang babalik lang sila doon pagka-harvest na. So when exactly yun ang pwedeng magawa ng kafe? Kasi titingnan lang kung at that time na bumisita kayo, ano ng stage siya, and then you can now predict. So ito ay ngayon isinama sa isang asynchronous virtual training ng PAMS, which stands for Picard Advanced Learning Management System. Yan ang PAMS. And maganda dito, parang pwede kang makakuha ng certification. And it is asynchronous. Kung kailan mo lang time, and then meron doon konting quiz. And then you can get a parang certification. Meron kang konting coffee training on coffee processing. No? So ito ang mga where to get it. And ito yung course module, which is actually ang title niya Coffee Harvesting, Processing, and Grading. Kaya dito sa coffee harvesting, when to really harvest, the best time to harvest, yun ang ibibigay ng cafe app, no? And nagtulong kami dito ni Mr. Howe, si Prof. Howe na ngayon sa Institute of Computer Science. No? And gaya ng ating webinar, ito ay sa English and Filipino. And para sa mga students, farmers, entrepreneurs, would-be processors. So meron tayong konting guidance. And ito, pakita ko lang just to sample, meron tayo itong Philippine National Standards for green coffee beans, no? At kung depende kung anong variety nyo, kung Arabica o Robusta or yung mga Liberica at Excelsa, ito ang mga maximum defects, no? Na pwedeng para maging grade 1. Sa mas dumadami yung defects, tumataas yung grade mo. Kaya yung lower grade, of course, ang better. So, nandun sa training module kung ano yung mga defects na dapat yung bilangin para makita yung ating Okay. Tapos, noon, hindi nga namin ginigrade yung aming coffee. Kaya yung pala, magiging substandard. Kaya karamihan ng ating coffee ay produced ay substandard because we do not apply itong Philippine National Standards. Pero nag-iiba na ngayon. Depende sa ibang mga entrepreneurs. Okay. So from the cafe, let's shift to the integrated crop management. So we need this to stimulate coffee crop expansion. No? Yung DA nga ay nasabi na let's increase coffee production. No? Pero yung coffee expansion ay wala na nga masyadong pupuntahan kundi sa bundok. No? And usually mga marginal soils, makikita nyo pag yun ay pulang lupa, ay ang pH nun ay very acidic, mga around 4.6, what we saw sa aming land grant sa Siniloan. And pag acid soils, it will hamper yung availability ng nutrients. Hindi siya ma-take up, no? So kaya this is one of the most yield limiting factor. And ang ating present yield ay napakababa, 0.5 tons or 500 kilos per hectare of green coffee beans. Kaya lang din naman, in defense din siguro, ay ang kasing coffee farms naman natin ay hindi yung talagang monoculture. Karamihan ay ganito, parang agroforestry setting, no? And so this is a site in Tanay, Rizal, no? Parang napakalayo ng pinuntahan pero nasa Rizal lang pala yun, no? And one thing we need to do about this is that we have to rethink yung reliance natin sa Robusta variety. Roughly 75% ng ating production or plantings ay from Robusta, no? Pero itong mga Robustang ito, mga clones varieties, ito yung mga dating IC, which stands for Ivory Coast. So these are selections by the French, and they were bred to grow on ideal soils. No? So sila yung maganda, ang yield pag itinanim mo sa yung lupang alagang-alaga, at saka usually lowland, and usually adjusted ang pH. Pero dito, tingnan nyo, ay merong namulaklak pero merong ang daming mga bansot, no? Because these are ideal for the best soils. Kaya't pag itinanim mo naman siya ngayon sa pangit na location, sa marginal lands, ay it will not give a very good performance. Ito lang medyo nasa daan kaya siguro maganda Pero yung as lumayo kayo, kita nyo, yung pinya, naninilaw na. Ganon din yung coffee doon ay talagang medyo sira na. Mas maganda siguro ito kasi nakakabiyaya siguro sa mga passers-by ito, mga kaping ito. Alam nyo na kung ano yung may sunog siguro kailangan patayin dyan. Kaya gumanda yung banda rito. But we need more a resilient variety. Kaya yun ang aming emphasis sa Excelsa. Okay, now this is work by Susan Del Rio. Started out as a student, then we hired her as a research assistant for Saray, MS student, no? And pinapag-aral ko sa kanya itong often quoted kasi sa ating mga books, sasabihin, ang coffee naman ay ano yan acid tolerant, no? And sabi ko, let's examine that if that's really true, no? So we found that different coffee species are not uniformly acidophilic, or meaning acid-loving. We found that Liberica and Excelsa seedlings can withstand strongly acid soil as low as 4.6, no? Kaya ito yung Liberica at Excelsa. Ang ganda ng kanilang, especially sa pH 6, ang ganda talaga. Pero pagdating sa 4.6, okay pa rin naman ang kanilang rooting. Pero pagdating sa Robusta at especially Arabica, ang Arabica talagang halos wala ng roots, no? Kaya very affected siya by acidic soils. Hanggang pH 5.5 lang, tapos then it is inhibited now with decreasing pH. In Robusta naman, at pH 5.2, can still tolerate, no? Wala pa kaming nakitang at that time yung in terms of yung inhibition ng growth at this pH. So hindi siya tolerant except for Excelsa and Liberica. Okay. So yung master's thesis ni Susan, ito ang ginawa niya. And this has been accepted by the Philippine Journal of Crop Science only now, no? Hindi pa rin published pero accepted na at least, no? So tested it on seedlings and using different biofertilizers. We wanted to know whether the biofertilizers can alleviate yung soil acidity. Kasi matagal na siyang sinasabing ilagay, pero we didn't really know how it was really affecting yung growth, no? Kaya ito, tingnan nyo itong hindi ko lang nabigay yung photo credits, but this is from the present book of Tice and Seiger and et al. Ito yung pine seedling, no? Kita niyo, pine seedling. Ayan, yung white arrows, hanggang diyan lang actually yung kanyang talagang roots, no? Pero makita niyo yung iba pang itong roots volume na yan. Ito may arrowheads. So this is actually mga mycorrhiza hyphae, no? I don't know how they were able to take this picture, but you could see how extensive. Kalinggit na pine seedling, but look at the mass of root volume, no? And that was with Mycobam. Okay, so we tried this Mycobam, Mycoplus, and BioGrow from Biotech, our Biotech here at Los Baños. And we found that actually the chlorophyll content increased when you added these biofertilizers, more so in Mycoplus and Mycobam. Mycoplus contains as well mycorrhiza, and Mycobam contains about 12 species of mycorrhiza. Mycoplus, mycorrhiza plus bacteria, and BioGrow is mostly bacteria, no? So you have a very significant increase in chlorophyll content. And it was also shown that they were, yung A is the control, yung B ay treated with Mycobam. Sila ay na-infect na nung arbuscular mycorrhiza, as well as itong Mycoplus treated. Pero itong BioGrow, parang walang infection na nakita. And this is just to show that there was an increase in the colony forming units, population of the in the various treatments. These are various indicators of what's the mga microorganisms that are present. So in the end, the final soil pH increased from 4.6, kanina nakita niya 4.6, at naging 5 na sa Mycobam at 4.9 sa Mycoplus, no? So nag-increase yung pH, tumaas, no? So that's good, no? Maski walang addition of lime. But this is just in the immediate rhizosphere. Yung mga nakadikit dun sa roots, yun ang kinuha namin soil. At tiningnan, by the way, this was tested in Robusta because as I said, 75% of our plantings is in Robusta, plus it is moderately susceptible to acid soils, no? At anyway, makita nyo na when treated with the Mycobam, tumaas usually like sa different treatments, different nutrients, tumaas yung uptake sa leaves kasi leaves yung except for some ito mas mycoplast ang tumaas, but in general kung titingnan mo parang mas mataas kasi different ng Asia, BA, no, and BioGrow talagang hindi siya bagay sa acidic soils because bacteria I cannot stand acidity, no? Kaya yung ating adobo pag nilagyan ng suka, bababa ang pH, it can keep well kasi nagiging acidified yung environment kaya walang microorganisms that can spoil it as much, no? Ayan. So we can explain that the effect of these microorganisms are actually in terms of increase in chlorophyll and increase in uptake of the nutrients. Kaya tingnan nyo, yung with mycobam sa root dry weight, 11.97, 10.70. BioGrow, 9.63. And shoot, mas tumaas din, although hindi significantly different itong mycoplast and at mycobam. But they were definitely better compared to the control and to the BioGrow. Ganon din sa stem. Okay, so that is about yung planting in marginal land. So we could say na probably dapat lang pag nagtanim tayo ng robusta lahat, meron talagang inoculation with at least mycobam and also probably mycoplast, no? Okay. In terms of variety development, ito nga yung sinasabi natin kanina na kayo ba, can you differentiate yung excelsa sa liberica, no? And also sa robusta kasi doon sa cafe, kailangan ilalagay nyo ano ba yung variety or species that you're growing. So you should be able to identify kung ano ba yung tanim nyo. And apparently hindi rin talaga nila alam. Meron kaming sa isang training din yung mga sa nagkakape na cooperative sa Dolores, Quezon. Nung nakita nila yung aming mga labeled na liberica tapos yung excelsa, sabi niya, ay, parang hindi ata tama yung ating pagkakaintindi sa variety. Pero that is actually ano naman, kaya kailangan mo kung dahon lang matitingnan nyo, parang kapareho ang liberica at excelsa, pero iba sa robusta. But sa bunga, kailangan nyo makita yung bunga para makita yung pagkakaiba, no? Although sa ngayon, siguro narinig nyo sa last 2 lectures ditong mga ng CAFS na ito sa coffee, na yung sa mga genetic studies, makikita, and it has already been shown that excelsa is actually, iba na ang kanyang scientific name, siya ay under the liberica species na rin. Kaya siya ay Coffea liberica variety Devevray ang excelsa ngayon. Ganon siya, no? So liberica nan actually siya because they cluster together in that genetic studies at CAFS and at UP Diliman. Okay, so about 6% lang ng ating coffee belong to the excelsa variety, no? And only about 1% comprise the liberica variety. So madaming sinasabi na ito kapeng barako, which is about this, no? Pero yung pala naman ay napaka 1% lang because medyo hindi pa selected nga yung variety dito. And so Ngayon, sinabi ko na rin na Excelsa is a variant of Coffea liberica. And right now, there is no registered clonal variety of Excelsa in the National Seed Industry Council, no? While only one clone is available for liberica. Yung selection nga ng Cavite State University, which they called CAFS Barako. And I sit in the technical working group ng NSIC, no, sa plantation crops. And NSIC has been clamoring for an Excelsa selection as it is in demand by the Specialty Coffee Association of the Philippines, as well as for liberica. Ganun din ang gusto ng mangyari ng NSIC. Okay. So we are now trying to develop an Excelsa variety. Meron kaming Excelsa accessions sa aming dating gene bank na remnants of a Picard project in the 1980s. Alam nyo, kaya masasabing itong mga varieties na ito or accessions ng Excelsa ay talagang suited for low input production because sabi ko nga 1980s pa na germplasm, ito yung mga natira, yung mga kasi over several years napabayaan na rin sila, pero these ones they are thriving, no? So we have about 7 selections na pinili doon sa mga surviving na yon, and actually very variable. Yung berry ripening doon can take about from 9 to 11 months. Meron kaming hina-harvest sa January, February, and March. Kaya nga itong isang student namin, si JB Lampa, he studied this at tested yung cafe app dito. And so he said this is actually quite accurate now with the wicks, no? And but very variable ang harvesting dito. Kaya that is also part of the problem ng cafe standardization because of walang clonal variety. So, merong early maturing trees dito. And also, to be considered specialty coffee, kailangan ang entry needs a capping score of over 80. So, meron kaming at least dalawa from the selections that we have, their accessions that we have, na candidates for Excelsa specialty coffee. So, our team, led by ngayon si Prof. Leslie Roses, is almost ready to submit our application to NSIC. And yung isa namin, yung one with the highest score na meron siyang score of 85.5, no? So talagang magandang specialty coffee yan. And hindi kami nagsabi noon, ito ay mga licensed cuppers from Philippine Coffee Guild, Phil Cafe, Curb Coffee Collaborators, Magellan's Coffee, and Cafe Bernardo. Sila ang nag-evaluate. According to these mga attributes, fragrance, flavor, aftertaste, acidity, mouthfeel, uniformity, yan. So, total score 85. Ang lowest namin doon ay 79. So, those tested. So, this is a recent development. Itong magkaroon tayong mga cuppers. And this is definitely a plus for the industry. At meron ng mga trained. Okay. So, that's that. Merong isang registered liberica variety pero wala pang selection for Excelsa, no? Pero ang isang nagiging problema din kasi dito ay yung kanyang propagation, no? Itong liberica Excelsa like Liberica and Robusta are cross-pollinated. Kaya para maging true to type, kailangan ay asexually propagated sila para maging clones. No? Pag ginamit nyo seeds, hindi pwede. Kaya that's why we have very variable in Excelsa accessions because they were coming from seeds. No? And Robusta is easily propagated by one node stem cuttings, rooting within 2 weeks, ready na siguro by after 1 month. And it is also commercially propagated by tissue culture through somatic embryogenesis. Kaya yung Nestle, nagpapadala usually from, I think, Ivory Coast na labs doon. Pinapadala sa Philippines yung mga somatic embryos at dito na lang i-grow noon doon sa Tagum. And they can produce millions of seedlings for coffee Robusta. But as I've said, the coffee Robusta is actually tailor-bred for ideal soils, hindi sa marginal soils. Okay, so itong Excelsa, this is notoriously hard to root, no? Taking up to 7 months to observe root development in roughly 30% of the surviving cuttings. Actually, ang aking note nga dati dito ay 1% kasi namatay na yung karamihan din because of by that time 7 months wala naman silang source of food kaya na-infect at nangamatay. And madaming mga undergrad students before na luhaan because 5 months na, 6 months na, hindi pa nagro-root ang kanilang coffee Excelsa kaya wala silang maipakitang thesis doon. So now this is our challenge. No? Okay. So ito yung rooting in Robusta. One node stem cuttings lang. Ito yung ginagawa sa Robusta kasi talaga ito ginawa ng Nestle. So kita niyo ang ganda ng rooting, no? Ito naman yung Excelsa. This is after 7 months. Kita niyo ngayon kalinggit na roots, no? And at least meron pang shoots, no? And nilagyan namin yan ng quick root auxin powder. At yung dito kay Jeff Opena we tried mga monophenols because we found that this is actually, at least I found in my work sa PhD ko na these are inhibitors of the auxin oxidases, itong mga monophenols. So he tried this, but it didn't work for him. But at least parang naging, like especially itong transferulic acid, naging siyang parang, it's a phenol nga, kaya parang naging anti-disease agent. Yun. And noon si Jeff actually was in crisis mode at that time because what will he report, no? But fortunately he had a morpho-anatomy. We were able to publish this actually ito sa baba, kita nyo. And sa Philippine agricultural scientist, headed ngayon nga ni Dr. Sulabon. And kita nyo dito, ito pala ang problema. Sa Excelsa, this is Excelsa, merong scleromatic band ito na continuous, no? This is freshly cut. Kakakuha lang na cuttings. Ito naman, yung Robusta, kita nyo, merong gaps. Merong mga gaps. Hindi tuloy-tuloy, hindi siya continuous. So this is what's preventing rooting. But curiously, after 4 months in the field, nagkakaroon din pala ng gaps yung scleromatic band sa excelsa. Kaya pero it will take about 4 months. But usually tatagal ba doon? Medyo yun ang problem eh. Will it take that long? You have a cutting, especially a short node, one node, and what are the stored food reserves there? No? Ito, robusta naman na parang pareho na sila. Actually, mas may gaps pa nga sa excelsa. No? So, si Jeff measured those painstakingly, those bands. Okay. And here you can see na this is a rooting, no? A root primordia that broke. Ito yung nagkaroon ng gap dito siya pumasok. Diyan siya lumabas itong root na lumalabas, yung root initial. Dito na siya lumalabas yung developing. From the break dito sa sclerenchymatic band. Ayan. So diyan siya pumasok. So this picture was taken 7 months. After 7 months. Kaya medyo challenge yung excelsa root. So it's coming from the vascular cambium. This is vascular cambium. Kita nyo, pumasok. Lalabas ganyan. Okay, so from that initial study, a series of students also still studied this time by Frances Batara, and she found, dito in-incorporate na niya na magkaroon talaga ng basal incisions. So the basal incisions are to cut, manually cut yung scleromatic band para magkaroon ng gaps, no? Kaya makita nyo, dito yung mayroong incision, dun siya lumabas yung mga roots in those incisions. But there's actually a range of rooting types. For example, here, itong panel na ito, these are actually without basal incision. Pero nagkaroon din ng roots. Pero kita niyo, lumabas siya dun sa cut portion na slanted ang cut. So doon siya lumabas. Ito, naging more profuse if you had basal incisions. Kaya magandang isama ngayon yan. Pero this rooting, isa pang ginawa ni Frances is use 3-node stem cuttings. So because they would have more stored food or photosynthase for cell maintenance and rooting. If you're there as a cutting, wala kang roots to absorb anything, you will surely die later on from starvation pag hindi ka nag-root soon enough. So, but anyway, so we used itong 3-node cuttings and deep in quick root powder, auxin, no? Nagkaroon siya ng 61.11% rooting percentage, which is rather good. But still took 3 months and 17 days after sticking yung paglagay dun sa rooting bed. No? And another approach that we also did was to see what paclobutrazol can do, because we found in my research on mangoes that paclobutrazol treatment increased the starch content. So sabi ko, why don't we put in paclobutrazol to the mother trees? And so kaya't yung mother trees na yon, which will be the source of stem cuttings, they will have more starch. And indeed, that was demonstrated by Batara, that the leaves of this had more starch. No? So starts to be used for maintenance and for rooting. Okay. Now, we I had an undergrad student who had a special problem. So this was by Jam Rodriguez. She was able to achieve rooting in 1 month and 90 days after planting. Although yung rooting, ganito pa lang. Kita nyo, ang linggit pa lang na rooting. But still, it was shown that you could now do the rooting. And later months, you have a bigger root talaga. Talagang kitang-kita na it's a root. And it's coming from, kita nyo, dun sa mga basal incisions din. So doon. So we're set if ma-approve na yung NSIC variety, and if Prof. Leslie can now submit that finally to NSIC, then part of the NSIC approval is dapat you have to have several, I'm not sure now, at least 100 siguro, I'm not sure for coffee, na available planting materials to be distributed. And so that was for Excelsa. Now, CAFS Barako is there, pero it's not being propagated as much as they want. Kasi like now, the Department of Agriculture High Value Crops Program needs 1 million seedlings now of NSIC registered CAFS Barako. Pero where's the planting materials? So this is now the problem of Panerio, Rian Panerio, of my student from CAFS, now I'm a student. So she just started yung rooting mismo, did some other studies before, and she saw that at least they were alive, but now she just used the one node stem cuttings, but she's using the paclobutrazol technique. And dito hindi lang masyadong nahugasan. She's pointing that there's a small root initial here. So it looks like it's working, and she just submitted a better picture yesterday, but which I was not able to incorporate here. Now there's definitely roots after 1 month and 1.5 months roughly. No? So people are awaiting the results of the work of Miss Panerio. So good luck, Rian. Okay, so what are the future prospects? No, this is also by way of a little summary. No, so I think there will be clonal varieties which will be available, and this will increase the market share and supply of the demand for specialty coffee. Because this is where we should be going. It's a specialty coffee. And this coffee, Excelsa coffee clones, can be sustainably grown in upland marginal lands by resource-poor farmers using mycorrhiza containing biofertilizers. So yung previous results namin can be used for that. And actually, this is not future. That this is now. We had this training in Santa Maria, Laguna. Yung cooperative, hindi ko pa kinrap ko lang yung ibang members ng cooperative, but we had this training on production and processing ng quality coffee with SIPAF. Ito si Prof from SIPAF na nag-organize nito. I was a resource person there, but kita nyo, itong Juan Santiago Coffee Farmers Association, they have these products na cafe puro de Barako, no? And may Santa Maria blend pa sila, and then Cape de Robusta, no? And but they said actually na yung kanilang plantings nandoon sa slopes lang Santa Maria, medyo ano to, Sierra Madre na rin yung part. Ano siya ay Excelsa, but they call it also still Barako. Pero siya ay Excelsa growers. So they would be beneficiaries dapat nung kung meron tayong Excelsa selections, no? Meron na silang ano, but from seed, no? Kaya we cannot say really yung consistency of their quality depending on the mixture, no? And sila, it's a cooperative producers and processors, and they were given by DA with processing equipment. So kaya meron na silang ganyan. Pero very simple yung kanilang facility, open shed lang. Now, the other prospect I'd like to talk about is that we will have more high quality coffee for brewing and hopefully less instant coffee na puro sugar naman karamihan in the market, no? Kaya ito, when I was in Vietnam, ito ang serve nila. Lalagay mo yung tubig dito, and then hot water, and then merong kape dito na ground coffee, and it will go down dito. Ayan na, yung kape. And then cup. And then there's like a coffee, parang condensed coffee. This was actually, I just took this about 2 weeks ago from yung Saigon restaurant in Calamba. Now, on the right side, this is a product of Telo Asilo, no? An entrepreneur, a UPLB alumnus, nutrition, pero siya ay gumagawa nitong kaping to. Kaya this is actually just add water, so more of like tea bags. Pero maganda at dahil it is sealed, no? Because if it is open ng tea bags, you will lose your flavor, aroma. Kaya ito yung kiandengs ay kapeng barako din, needs a little change in packaging because if you have the coffee ground here, it will basically volatilize. You will lose flavor soon. Kaya very important ang packaging. And hopefully we can see more of this. No? Okay, and then probably for better quality, we need the better processing. So para to lead to more award-winning coffee. Here we are in Bukidnon, no? Mirabueno Coffee. So this is Minda Lucena, our student before undergrad and now married to Mirabueno, whose line is not actually horticulture. Kaya nag-a-advise na lang yung kanyang wife, no? So we were here to visit and with Prof. Apple from USTP in Claveria, Bukidnon, and his guys, and my 2 RAs. So you could see this is their farm. Hindi rin talaga pure coffee. And these are actually Robusta coffee from na kanila sinelect. Okay. So here we have but you could see here, si Mirabueno, pinik niya ng ano, ng red, no? So you need expert cuppers to evaluate your beans. Ito ang coffee cupping. Kaya kailangan, sinubject niya yung kanyang ano to those in various award-winning venues. Para ito, dinedemonstrate ko lang yung part na ito sa capsule, just to see paano ba ginagawa yung cupping. Ayan. Una, aroma. Anuhin mo. Tapos titikman mo according to this flavor wheel. Ano ba yung mga brown spice, nutty, brown sugar, sari-sari. So these are the different notes to describe coffee. Kaya yung value adding na yan, meron din yung sagada. So quality of coffee is the key, not volume of production. We can also do value adding, and sorry, hindi ko na pala natanggal na mayroon akong sound doon. You could use this fair trade, Rainforest Alliance, good manufacturing practice, and GAP. And Sulu, galing sa Sulu coffee. So these are other value adding, and you see different packaging materials. Okay, so we need coffee processing, no? Need high quality coffee beans, no? Kaya so we need the cafe for this, para to pick red, and okay. Okay, so thank you for listening. So this is the cafe team, no? Hindi pa lang napasama si Prof. Bong, dahil pupunta siya sa UK for his PhD. All right, so thank you very much for listening.
Ayan, maraming salamat po again, Sir Chito, for that wonderful discussion about the research projects na ginagawa po natin for coffee research and development. So parang Miss Angel, no, parang lalo naman nating na-appreciate yung every sip of coffee that we have. Dati kasi yung appreciation ko lang talaga sa coffee is parang the aroma itself, parang yun lang yung enticing for me. But now, it's deeper na yung aking appreciation for coffee. So, salamat po, Sir Chito, for that. Miss Angel will now be joining us for the Q&A and the open forum. So I'm inviting everybody here in our Zoom space to please type your questions using our chat box. Also, yung mga nasa Facebook po no ng College of Agriculture and Food Science Facebook page and YouTube channel, you can also use the comment section to please type your questions. So now I'm introducing Miss Angelica Maghirang to moderate our Q&A session.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Doc Kamla. So, sobrang malinamnam ng ating umaga, ano? Ang dami nating natutunan tungkol sa kape. So, ayan po, we encourage all participants to raise their questions po. So, Doc Chito, may una po tayong katanungan from Mr. Bernard Panabang from IPB-UPLB. You
Yes.
have discussed that Robusta IC lines were mainly bred for ideal soils. Is there a variety suitability map for coffee? As far as I know, Sarai NDA has a national color-coded agricultural guide suitability map for different crops, including coffee, but it does not tell you which varieties to grow. Doc Chito?
Okay. Yes, that's a good question. Medyo mahirap sagutin. I think that coffee suitability map is actually using probably more of the Robusta variety. Kaya't yun ang sinasabi lang na ano. Kaya't pero parang hindi kasali doon ang yung kasi ang nakalagay doon sa ating literature na yun ang ginagamit ng mga mappers is that it's okay na acid labbing ang coffee, which we just showed na hindi pala, no? It's only limited to baka yung sinatawag nga nating mga Barako coffee like Excelsa and Liberica. So pero most of our planting is Liberica, is Robusta, about roughly 75%. Kaya siguro yun nga nangyayari, we have very low yields. So sasabihin it is suitable, but the basis of that is questionable, yung assumptions. Kaya I think it's based on Robusta. Kaya maski sabihing suitable, the mapping leaves much to be desired. And kaya naman talaga makita natin, hindi tayo umuunlad din sa kape dahil maraming umaalis sa pagkakape dahil sa hindi maganda ang kanilang ani. And ganon nangyayari.
So, ayan. So, thank you, Doc Chito. So, ayan, marami po pa rin tayong researchable areas sa ating coffee industry. So, we hope po we answered your question, Mr. Panabang. So, we have a second question po from RJ Borja. Good morning po. How can we access Cafe app? Is it available for free? Also, how can we part of Sarai?
Pinakita ko nga kanina doon sa isang yung sa asynchronous training ng PALMS, and nandoon ang contact details, and if you join yung training na yan ng asynchronous training ng PALMS ng Picard, actually ma-download mo, meron dong downloadable form ng cafe, no? And right now, sabi ng Picard, meron daw sila ngayon mga up to 7, kasi parang kakaumpisa lang, nilaunch lang nila nung NSTW week. Meron silang 7 trainees, which I was glad to hear about that, na nag-access ng yung PALMS training. So nandun yon, makikita yun doon. And it's free, so walang ano yun. A caveat about that is hindi siya applicable nationwide. Doon lang sa kung saan merong nakapasok na data on the climatic data, kasi yung regression equation ay depende kung anong ipinasok na areas. So kaya pwede lamang yon. Meron nakalagay doon yung mga areas na which was yung mga kasama sa Sarai na merong data on the climatic data for each area. So may limitations yon, but we do encourage na if they want to try the cafe, yes, available siya dun sa PALMS training.
Thank you po, Doc Chito. So, Doc Chito, nabanggit nyo, limited po ang sakop ng ating application. So, meron po ba kayong future plans para mapalawak lalo ang ating sakop para po makasama yung ibang areas?
Actually, yan ang ating pakay nitong webinar natin ng coffee ay mapakita nga yung researchable areas. And nasabi ko na rin yan sa ating mga upcoming at saka dating kasama sa Saray na alam na naman nila na yun ay isang area for improvement.
Okay, salamat, Doc Chito. Meron po ulit tayong katanungan dito from Miss Joanne Brida of Nueva Vizcaya State University. Thank you so much for the updates and discussions. I just want to ask if the Philippine coffee standards is already in place and where can we access it? How is it different from the SCA? Thanks po.
Yeah, it's readily accessible naman sa internet. You can get it yung sa yung mga ano ba yung Bureau of Standards of Food and hindi ko na maalala ngayon yung pangalan. So yung Bureau of BAPS, Bureau of Agricultural Fisheries and Standards, nandun ang standards ng coffee. And yes, I encourage you to do that because it's different from SCA. Because ang SCA ay yung later na yun, nasa cupping yun eh. But the standards ng Philippine National Standards, this is for sale of the green coffee beans. So kaya yung green coffee beans, kung how it was, ilan ang black beans doon, ilan ang merong berry borer damage. So dapat yun ay napilian, na sort. So that's why you need those grades. Otherwise, your coffee will be substandard. It's very much available. Yun na nga, and it's part of doon sa PALMS asynchronous training, nandun din yon doon sa aming module. Kaya makikita rin yun. But if you want to download nandun sa BAPS website.
Yeah, thank you, Doc Chito. So, Doc Chito, may katanungan lang po ako. Bali, sir, may na-encounter po ba kayong farmers na hirap magbenta or wala naman po?
Parang wala naman. Wala naman. Actually, kulang sila. Kulang. No? But the thing is, kasi ang problema siguro ng iba, noon ay yung paano maibaba yung kanilang coffee. Yung marketing. We encountered this in Bataan na pag rainy season kasi medyo upland community, pag wala pang magandang farm to market roads, hindi sila makababa pag rainy season, pag hindi four-wheel drive at saka yung malalaking may kadena na gulong. But lately nag-improve na yon, and then so marketing is also a problem. And ngayon din, isang problem I think is that coffee has hindi masyado maganda ang price related to other crops. Kaya yung mga nandito sa Calabarzon ay nag-shift na to other crops. Kaya din medyo nabawasan ang ating coffee plantings.
So, bali po, Doc, mas murang naibibili sa kanila compare po sa kanilang incurred cost sa production. Ano po?
Parang gano'n. And it's the opportunity cost. Yung iba, like sa Mindoro, gusto na lang nilang mas maganda yung presyo ng bananas, mga saba, kesa sa kape, magpa-process pa sila. Kafe, kakao, kaya medyo nahirapan nga kami makakuha ng cooperators doon noon eh. Noon, okay daw, pero ngayon parang medyo nawala na.
Very ironic po, no? Kasi ngayon, as nabanggit po kanina, na marami po talagang heavy drinkers ng coffee. So, mas malaki po yung potential na sana ay makapag-produce ng mas magandang kalidad ng ating coffee. Ano po?
Oo. Pero siguro lang, just to add to that, yung mga gaya nung nasa Santa Maria na JC farmers ay Santiago, they're producing and processing it themselves. Kaya usually doon papunta ang nangyayari ngayon eh. Doon sila mas kumikita talaga. They have it in their hands na yung pricing rather than just selling it to Nestle or to other processing companies. Sila na mismo ang parang take into their hands yung production and processing.
So, bali kung i-extend po yung service along the value chain, mas mataas po ang ating pwedeng makuha. Okay?
Yes.
Apo.
Oo.
So, I guess po, that's all for the Q&A, Doc Kamla.
Yan, salamat po. Maraming salamat, Miss Angge. And thank you so much, Sir Chito, no, for that wonderful interaction for our Q&A. So I just want to add po, meron po tayong link na nandito sa ating chat box, dito sa ating Zoom space, on the coffee processing module na dinevelop po ng Saray. At yung ating cafe po, ano po. So you can just access that software using this link. Ayan, the link is provided in our chat box. So siguro may maglalagay din po ng link doon sa ating Facebook page at sa YouTube channel para yung ating audience naman sa social media ay maka-access din ito.
Thank you
So,
for that.
thank you again, Doc Chito. Uh, At this juncture, we would like to thank our speaker for his time and presence. So of course, we would like to present this certificate of appreciation to Sir Chito. Ano po? So let's just read the citation. The College of Agriculture and Food Science, University of the Philippines, Los Baños, College Laguna, present this certificate of appreciation to Dr. Calixto M. Protasio for serving as resource person on the webinar entitled R4D Initiatives in Coffee and Future Prospects during the coffee webinar series held on the 28th of September 2023 via Zoom, given this 28th of November 2023 at CAFS UPLB College Los Baños, Laguna. This is of course signed by our Dean Elpidio M. Agbisit Jr. So a virtual round of applause for Sir Chito. And at this juncture, thank you for joining us, everyone, in this morning. And please watch out, no, for the upcoming episode about the innovations in coffee production and processing on December 5, 2023. Ayan po. So meron na po tayong QR code at saka registration link for that. So if you're interested, please kindly scan the QR code or click the link and register na para sa susunod na episode. Just a few reminders to our participants before we end this session. So to get your e-certificates, kindly fill out the evaluation form. So yan, ayan na po, nakita na po natin ang ating QR code. Just scan the QR code and the link is also provided for you to accomplish the evaluation form. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at UPLB College of Agriculture and Food Science. Gayon din po sa UPLB CAFS Institute of Animal Science and the UPLB CAFS Dairy Training and Research Institute. On behalf of the College of Agriculture and Food Science, we would like to thank everyone for a healthy and nakakabuhay na engagement natin ngayong umaga. Buhay na buhay dahil sa kape. So we sincerely thank Dr. Calixto M. Protasio for today's session and engagement. Special thanks, of course, to Dr. Rommel C. Solabo for gracing us with his wonderful backgrounder about the coffee industry in the Philippines. And of course, to my partner, Ms. Angelica Maghirang, for facilitating the Q&A and open forum. And we also would like to acknowledge the entire CAFS webinar committee led by Associate Dean Lilia Fernando Corpus and to our Dean, Dr. Elpidio M. Agbisit Jr. for initiating this coffee webinar series. At syempre, hindi po natin makakalimutan ang ating mga kasamahan sa CAFS. We have Miss Kathleen, Miss Rachel, and Sir Arthur. Gayun din po ang ating mga kasamahan sa D3, si Sir Joey and Sir Dandy. O yan, di ba? Talagang full force po ang ating webinar ngayon. So that's all for today and have a safe day, everyone. Have a nice day. God bless you. Thank you, Sir Chito. Maraming salamat po.
Okay. Okay. You're welcome.